Planet Earth, our home, is a complex and interconnected system. From the air we breathe to the water we drink, our lives depend on a delicate balance. Environmental disasters, both natural and man-made, threaten this balance. These events remind us of the power of nature and the consequences of our actions. Understanding these disasters is crucial. By studying the causes and effects, we can learn to prevent future tragedies and protect our planet. These events are stark reminders of our responsibility. We must act as stewards of the Earth. Ignoring the lessons of the past condemns us to repeat them. Let us delve into some of the most significant environmental disasters in history. Through understanding, we can pave the way for a safer and more sustainable future. April 26, 1986 dawned like any other day in Chernobyl, Ukraine. But within hours, a disaster unfolded that would change the world. The Chernobyl nuclear power plant, a symbol of Soviet progress, became a symbol of human error and its catastrophic consequences. During a safety test, a surge of power ripped through reactor number 4. The reactor core overheated, causing a massive explosion. A plume of radioactive material shot into the atmosphere. This invisible enemy spread across Europe and beyond, carried by the wind. The immediate impact was devastating. 31 people died in the explosion and its immediate aftermath. Thousands more faced long-term health effects from radiation exposure. The Chernobyl disaster highlighted the dangers of nuclear power when safety protocols are ignored. The Gulf of Mexico, teeming with life, became the site of an environmental nightmare in 2010. On April 20th, the Deepwater Horizon oil rig exploded, killing 11 workers and unleashing an undersea gusher of crude oil. For 87 harrowing days, oil poured into the Gulf. The spill released an estimated 4.9 million barrels of oil, making it the largest accidental marine oil spill in history. The environmental consequences were immediate and severe. Marine life perished, coated in thick, suffocating oil. Coastal ecosystems, already vulnerable, faced further devastation. The fishing and tourism industries, vital to the Gulf Coast economy, suffered crippling losses. The Deepwater Horizon disaster exposed the risks of offshore drilling and the need for stricter safety regulations. In the heart of India, the city of Bhopal became synonymous with industrial disaster. On the night of December 2nd, 1984, a Union Carbide pesticide plant released a deadly gas cloud into the atmosphere. The gas, methyl isocyanate, spread silently through the city while residents slept. Thousands died in their sleep, their lungs scorched by the toxic fumes. The immediate death toll was staggering, but the disaster's true impact unfolded over decades. Thousands more suffered from chronic respiratory illnesses, cancer, and birth defects. The Bhopal Gas Tragedy stands as a chilling reminder of the human cost of industrial negligence and the importance of corporate responsibility. Section 5. The Amazon ablaze. The Amazon rainforest, often called the lungs of the planet, plays a vital role in regulating the Earth's climate. It produces about 20% of the world's oxygen and is home to an incredible diversity of life. Yet this ecological treasure is under constant threat. Human activities such as logging and land clearing are pushing the forest to its limits. In recent years, wildfires have ravaged the Amazon on an unprecedented scale. These fires are not just natural occurrences, but are often set intentionally to clear land. These fires are largely human-caused, driven by deforestation for agriculture and land grabbing. Farmers and developers use fire as a tool to clear vast areas quickly. The consequences are dire, not just for the Amazon, but for the entire world. The smoke from these fires affects air quality and health, even in distant regions. As the rainforest burns, it releases massive amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, accelerating climate change. This contributes to global warming, affecting weather patterns worldwide. The loss of biodiversity is another tragic consequence. The fires destroy habitats, leading to the death of countless plants and animals. Countless species of plants and animals, many found nowhere else on Earth, are losing their habitat. This loss of biodiversity has long-term impacts on the ecosystem's health and resilience. The Amazon fires are a wake-up call, highlighting the interconnectedness of our planet and the urgent need to protect our remaining forests. International cooperation and local efforts are crucial in addressing this crisis. and ensuring the survival of this vital ecosystem. Section 6. The Aral Sea, a slow-motion catastrophe. Once the world's fourth largest lake, the Aral Sea in Central Asia has shrunk dramatically since the 1960s. It was a vibrant ecosystem teeming with life and supporting local communities. This ecological disaster, often called one of the planet's worst environmental disasters, is a stark example of the devastating consequences of unsustainable water management. Over the decades, the water levels have receded drastically, leaving behind a barren landscape. The Soviet Union initiated a massive irrigation project in the 1960s, diverting water from the Amu Darya and Syr Darya rivers, the primary sources of the Aral Sea, to irrigate cotton fields. These ambitious projects aimed to boost cotton production but overlooked the environmental costs. This led to a drastic reduction in water inflow, causing the sea to shrink rapidly. The consequences were catastrophic. The lake's surface area diminished by over 70% and its volume reduced by more than 90%. The once thriving fishing industry collapsed, leaving behind ghost towns and economic hardship. Thousands of fishermen lost their livelihoods, and the local economy suffered immensely. The exposed seabed, covered in salt and pesticides, transformed into a toxic dust bowl, leading to respiratory diseases and other health problems. The toxic dust storms have affected the health of millions, causing long-term environmental and health issues. Section 7. The Dust Bowl, when nature fights back. The 1930s witnessed one of the worst environmental disasters in North American history, the Dust Bowl. This period was marked by relentless dust storms that swept across the Great Plains, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. This ecological catastrophe, characterized by severe dust storms, ravaged the Great Plains region of the United States and Canada. The storms were so intense that they often turned day into night, creating an almost apocalyptic scene. A combination of factors contributed to the Dust Bowl. Poor agricultural practices, such as deep ploughing of the virgin topsoil, destroyed the native grasses that held the soil in place. Decades of intensive farming practices, coupled with a severe drought, left the topsoil exposed and vulnerable to wind erosion. The lack of moisture in the soil made it easy for the wind to pick up the loose dirt. Strong winds swept across the plains, lifting millions of tons of topsoil, creating massive dust storms that darkened the skies for days. The impact was devastating, affecting both the environment and the people who lived there. The dust storms buried homes and farms, causing widespread crop failures and leading to economic hardship and mass migration. Many families were forced to leave their homes in search of better living conditions. The Dust Bowl serves as a harsh reminder of the dangers of unsustainable agricultural practices and the need for soil conservation. Today, modern soil conservation techniques are employed to prevent such a disaster from happening again, ensuring that the lessons of the past are not forgotten. Section 8. Lessons Learned, a Call for Change. Each of these disasters, while unique in its circumstances, carries a common thread. They highlight the interconnectedness of our planet and the potential for human actions to have far-reaching consequences. The Chernobyl disaster underscored the importance of safety protocols and industries handling hazardous materials. Deepwater Horizon exposed the risks associated with offshore drilling and the need for robust environmental safeguards. The Bhopal tragedy brought to light the importance of corporate responsibility and the ethical obligation to protect human life and the environment. The Amazon fires serve as a stark reminder of the consequences of deforestation and the urgent need to protect our remaining forests. Section 9. Sustainable Practices, a Path Forward. Preventing future environmental disasters requires a fundamental shift in our approach to development and resource management. Embracing sustainable practices is not merely an option, it is an imperative. Transitioning to renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power is crucial in reducing our reliance on fossil fuels, the primary driver of climate change. Implementing sustainable agricultural practices such as crop rotation and no-till farming can help conserve soil health and prevent erosion. Protecting our forests through sustainable forestry practices is essential for mitigating climate change and preserving biodiversity. Investing in research and development of clean technologies is crucial for finding innovative solutions to environmental challenges. Section 10. Conclusion. Our shared responsibility. The environmental disasters discussed in this essay are not isolated incidents. They are symptoms of a larger crisis, a crisis of unsustainable practices and a disconnect from the natural world. Protecting our planet is not just the responsibility of governments or corporations, it is a shared responsibility. Each of us has a role to play in creating a more sustainable future. By making conscious choices in our daily lives, we can reduce our environmental footprint and contribute to a healthier planet. Let us remember the lessons of the past, not with despair, but with a renewed commitment to action. The future of our planet depends on the choices we make today. Let us choose wisely.